Welcome to episode number 4 of the Arctic Advent. Yesterday was the 4th Sunday of Advent, so here we are on Friday. It's Christmas Eve, and this apartment is a complete mess, except for the Christmas tree. It's sort of a beautiful island in the midst of the chaos. And as you can see, I have no sign behind me saying Arctic Advent number 4 because I have a Christmas tree behind me, so it goes without saying. And my mitten calendar is on day 20. And this is going to turn into a rather long intro because I have a few projects to show you, and I actually have some acquisitions as well. So let's go ahead and get going with knitting, and then we can talk a bit about life and plans for Christmas at the end. So I have finished 2 things since the last time I talked to you. I have finished my Advent cardigan by Amber O'Brien. I'm showing you the back because it's easier to see the stripes. And the colors are from the yarn is from Nora George. It's her Harry Potter blanket club, and it's comprised of minis I've gotten throughout the year, and I've tried to make it sort of symmetrical by choosing colors that looked a bit alike. So don't ask me the names of the colorways because I have cards that say where it says what the names of the colorways are. But there's a lot of colors in this. That's 24 colors in this. So I've held it with the undyed Surisil Cloud, and the edges are a cheap merino that I had in stash. The only thing missing are the buttons. And I'm thinking, because of the colors, I don't think this is sort of a winter jacket. I'm thinking I'm going to use this instead of a jacket when spring comes around. So there's no rush in getting the buttons because it's too warm, I think, to use indoors. So I have to use it outside when the time comes. So that's my Advent cardigan by Amber O'Brien. And I had quite a bit of leftovers of all the colors, and I'm going to show you when I get to the whips what I'm using those for. And I have a pair of Christmas socks finished. I don't remember the color because I've lost the ball band, but it's Area 51. And this is, I've shown you this as a whip. It was part of a skein that Sue, Crafty Knitter 7 bought, and she sent me 50 grams of it. So I knit this as a tube, provisional cast on, and then I knit as a tube, and when I ran out of this yarn, I just finished off with the toe in a contrast color. It's a dark brown. I don't have a lot of light on, and I have the Christmas tree behind me as well, so the colors won't show properly today, I'm afraid. But so this, I have a pair of finished socks, and those are my FOs. And when it comes to the, let's see, where do I put that? And when it comes to the whips, I have a pair of Christmas socks. I finished one sock, and this is Home for the Holidays by Comfy Cozy Knits. And I'm this far on the second sock. So I'm mass producing Christmas socks at the moment. I have another pair in a bag somewhere that's only missing the heels, but I'm not sure where they are. I can probably find them but I have a lot of Christmas socks already, so there's no rush because I have other projects to knit on. And I'll also show you what I'm doing with the leftovers from the Radvent cardigan. It's a shawl called the Sugar Plum Fairy shawl, and I'm going to put the name of the designer down here because I don't remember. So you can see the colors are much more vibrant when you don't hold them with Suri Silk Cloud, which makes sense. And this needle is a bit short, so it's difficult to show you properly, but you repeat, I think it's 3 different stitch patterns. And the only thing that I don't like about this is all the ends. So I'm weaving them in from time to time, so I don't have to weave in all of them when the shawl is finished. And this is also not a project that I'm in a rush when it comes to finishing. It's mostly because I wanted to use up all the yarn. And I still have loads left, so I guess a magic knot ball is also going to end up happening. Maybe I'll just make a magic knot ball and start doing a border around the blanket I've shown you before that I made with the Nora George Advent. Because I was going to use the yarn from Sue for that, but turns out I did something wrong when I started. So I had too many stitches, so on the sides it ruffled up. So I decided to just frog it instead of trying to fix it. So I'm making a magic knot ball now with the minis from Sue. So that's that was a bit wasn't pleased about that, but I can always use that yarn for something else. Sue told me about a corner-to-corner crochet blanket where you make tiny squares and then sew them together afterwards. I might do that with those because there are 10 gram minis, and I think that you need 10 grams for the blanket Sue was talking about. So that's that, and I have another whip that was hibernating. It's been hibernating for some time because it's a sweater for a hobby. And I took it out yesterday and decided I'm pretty far along on the body, and the sleeves will probably go fast because it's a 5mm needle and it's a flax. And because hubby has lost a bit of weight, this is probably too big for him now, but this was never meant to be a sweater he would use for work or anything. It was meant for as a sweater he could use at home. So if it's a bit big and cozy, that doesn't matter. And the yarn I'm using for this, let's see, do I have a ball of it down there? Yes, I have. The yarn I'm using for this is Viking Superwash. I think you can get this yarn internationally as Viking of Norway. You could check that. So this is a superwash. So those are my active whips. And let's talk about my planned projects. I actually had to start using the queue function on Ravelry because I suddenly had lots of projects I was going to start. It started when I watched Skane there. I think it's her last podcast episode. She designed a holiday sweater, and I really loved it because it was stranded color work all over, and I love knitting sweaters like that. And the thing about this was she has made lots of different pattern repeats, so you can choose yourself what patterns you want to use. And some of them are really, really Christmassy, like baubles, and I think there are things that are really Christmassy, the presents, I think, and baubles, but there was also some non-Christmassy pattern repeats. And Hobby is going to pick those he likes. There was, among other things, there was a stag head, and I don't think that's Christmassy. Reindeer, but a stag head, no. So he's going to pick pattern repeats that he likes. That's not Christmassy. And he's picked the yarn himself, the colors. One of the yarns Skandir suggested was Navia Duo. And I went into Hobby, of course. Hobby with 2 eyes. To check for colors. And he picked the 2 colors he liked best. And so I'm going to knit that sweater for him. Because her patterns are really size inclusive. So I just measured him and found the right pattern to use. And I had to start recording all over again because this Mac is really, what you call it, annoying. And again, I'm trying to figure out how to record on my new laptop, but it's Windows, so I'm not sure what software to use, but hopefully my son can help me when he comes home for Christmas. So let's hope that this is the last time I'm recording on the Mac. Anyways, I was saying I'm knitting that sweater for hubby, but with non-Christmassy patterns. It's kind of the Selbu star and stuff like that. So it's an all-over pattern colorwork in fingering weight, or it's more of a sport weight. But because I think those sweaters are really fun to knit, I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish it rather quickly, even though it's for him. And he's lost the weight, so I can knit it a couple of sizes smaller than when the last time I knit him a sweater. So that's one of the sweaters that's going on my needles. As soon as I get the yarn, I'm going to cast that one on, I think. And the yarn is on its way, and it's bought from Norwegian web store, so hopefully I get it before Christmas, because if I do, that's my Christmas knitting. I also have a couple of sweaters planned for me. One of them is Andrea Maury's stripes that I'm going to knit with my Beehive Yarns advent. And today's color looks like this. We're over in the blues. And I've taken a couple of pictures last week where I put all of the minis side by side so you can see what it looked like. And I'm going to show you the entire thing in my first podcast in the new year. I'm going to show you all the colors. I could also show you what I got from Sue today while I'm sitting here showing you that advent. Today I got this yarn, a colorful yarn, and I got another of these. Now I have 3 of these. There's a magnet on the back, and they look much better than the fridge magnets I'm using now for putting things on the fridge. And I have things on the fridge that that's been there for a couple of years, and I've never taken it down. But that's what I got from Sue, and a chocolate, but I've already eaten that. Let's say I get the hype about Dove chocolate. Norwegian milk chocolate is considered to be one of the world's best, but Dove, it was really nice. So I have I have had 1 chocolate every morning in December. This is early in the morning, that's why I look a bit tired and why I have to have a lot of coffee while I'm recording. Because hubby has a short day at work today, and I want to be finished doing this before he gets back. I've shown you my whips, and maybe I should show you my acquisitions so we can get on with it. The first acquisition I'm showing you is belated birthday present / Christmas present, and it's from my dear friend Trine in Norway. She's my oldest friend. We've known each other since we were 6, and she knows that one of my favorite Norwegian dyers is Ellen from Garnbutikken Fortuna. And she bought me a Christmas sock set from them last year that I haven't used because I can't afford to use it because it's so pretty. And this time she bought me 2 skeins. And this color, you can't see the color properly. But I posted a picture of this on Instagram. So if you check out my Instagram profile, you can see a proper picture of this. And it's called, it's the sock yarn. It's 75% merino, 25% nylon. And the colorway is plommetre, and that's Norwegian for plum tree. And this color is very much similar to my plum jam. So I was thinking, because I have 2 skeins, so I should use them for something special. And I thought, what if I dye up some Suri Silk Cloud with my plum jam and knit myself a rocket tee? And I think I would have enough yarn to make it long sleeve as well. So this might be a rocket tee with my plum jam in Suri Silk Cloud in the stripes. We'll see. So that was from Trina. That was a present. And in case you don't think I opened my Christmas presents early, she told me she wanted me to open it straight away because it was more of a belated Christmas. I'm saying it again. Belated birthday present. So please open it now. I think she was keen on me seeing this. And again, I'm going to put up a picture here of what the color actually looks like, because you can't tell because I haven't got a lot of light on. And the second thing I'm showing you is something I bought, and it's Stranded Dye Works Christmas color for this year, and it's called Popcorn Garland, and I just had to have it. And you can tell, I can actually tell what this color looks like, because it's a pale pink, and you know me and pink, so I had to have it. Speaking about pink, I'm wearing a pink sweater. Maybe I should tell you what it is. It's my No Frills, knit with my Maison on 100% merino fingering, and a hot pink mohair from Comfy Cozy Knits. I think Sugar Rush was the colorway. And the recording stopped again, so I think my Mac is telling me to shut up and be done with it. I hope I can do this on my new laptop in January, because this is driving me crazy. But I think I managed to tell you about this sweater before it shut down. And I've already talked a bit about life and our plans for Christmas. My oldest son comes here on Thursday, and he's going to stay here until the 4th day of Christmas, I think it is. And my youngest son also comes here on the 4th day of Christmas, and he's going to stay here until after New Year's. How long, we don't know, depends on when he starts work in the new year. So, and we've gotten all the food in, more or less. So what's remaining this week is to clean and tidy and get the Christmas decorations out. And I'm going to do that a bit early as well. I think I'm going to clear the rooms and tidy, and as I'm cleaning and tidying the rooms, I'll decorate them for Christmas, because I have a few Christmas decorations that always goes into the hallway. I have some that goes in the bathroom. Yes, I decorate the bathroom for Christmas. And the rest of it is going in here. And the neighbor is giving us some new table runners for Christmas that you're supposed to put on over the table. Not along the table, but over the table. She's making 3, and I picked the fabric myself. It's really pretty. So I'm using a neutral tablecloth for Christmas, and I'm just putting those table runners over there as a decoration. And I told her to, and she's giving me those before Christmas, so I can use them when I decorate. So she was really pleased because she didn't know what to get us for Christmas. So that was a win-win. I get new table runners for Christmas, and she gets to give us a Christmas present and something we actually want. We bought all the Christmas presents for the boys, and hubby, I have to tell you, hubby gave me some spending money to spend on the internet to order stuff for Christmas. He's going to get me a physical present as well, as he said. He's given me several Christmas presents, but it's all stuff that we bought online. And this time I went to Fortuna, Garn Boutique in Fortuna, as I showed you where the yarn is from, because I bought some of my hedgehog fibers from them. They have hedgehog fibers, Martin's Lab, and a few others, Filcolana, Sandnes. So but I've decided I'm not going to spend all this money on yarn, because I have a lot of yarn. So what I ended up buying was what the Wollmeisen's Birdie. It's a set of 6 30-gram minis in coordinating colors, and I bought their pink, of course. So I'll show you that when it arrives in the mail. And I also bought 2 books. I bought Tin Can Knits, I suddenly forgot, Strange Brew. I bought that book, and I bought Stephen West's West Knit Best Knits Volume 3. I have the first book, and now I've ordered the 3rd book. I love going through those books. I love looking in them because I love the way I love his aesthetics. I might not knit anything from the book, but I love having them lying around so I can just look through them. So I bought 2 books for that, 2 books and a bit of yarn. And he enabled me last night. He was going through Hobby's website, and he held it up and showed me this. You probably like this. And I loved it, and I told him so, and he said you should buy some. And I had some money left from the money he gave me, so I bought 2 sweater quantities. I bought 1 sweater quantity in the yarn he showed me first. It's a fingering weight, and it's one of those, it looks a bit like Spin Cycle because it's got these long color changes. And I bought one that's in blues and teal, and I bought enough for a sweater. It was an 80% acrylic, 20% wool, so it was really cheap as well, because he doesn't look at the fiber content. He just thinks, pretty. But I bought it anyway because acrylic isn't as warm as a wool, so I get more use out of a sweater probably when it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. And I've never been a snob when it comes to fiber content. I have no problems knitting myself a sweater with an acrylic blend. Not 100% acrylic, mind you, because it has to be a tiny bit of wool in it, because 100% acrylic, it feels, I don't like the feel of it when I knit with it. Some types of acrylic are really nice, but you never know when you buy online, because the shops in Norway hardly ever sell acrylic. So as a whole, Norwegian yarn stores are snobs when it comes to fiber content. And the other yarn I bought was, I think that was 100% wool, except for the tweed neps, because it was a tweed yarn, and it was a worsted. And because I love my Felix, I wanted to knit another Felix, and they had a tweed called Tweed Delight, and I bought a blush pink one with neps in all different colors, and I'm also going to show you that yarn when it arrives, and that's going to be a Felix sweater. So now I have 3 sweaters in my queue on Ravelry. I have the sweater for hubby, I have stripes with the advent calendar, and a Felix for myself. So now I'm going to shut up and start editing this, because I have all the days last week that I'm going to put after this, and I'm not going to record anything else because I'm not doing any more Arctic Advents, but I'm still taking pictures when I open the Advents. So I'm going to put up on Instagram, I think, from day to day after I finished recording this, so you can see what the rest of my Advents look like. And I'm going to show you the Beehive Yarns one in my first podcast in the new year, probably. Or I'll just put up a picture on Instagram of the last, what it looks like, all 24 colors together. And this is the end of Arctic Advent. My Vlogmas stops here. And I'm going to be busy the last few days before Christmas. So it's a good thing I don't have to worry about putting and recording stuff anymore. And I can concentrate on my Christmas preparations. And I hope you enjoyed the Arctic Advent. And I'll see you again in the new year. I might put up a message on the Instagram TV on Christmas Eve, but I haven't decided yet. But I'll see you in the new year. I wish you all a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. In case you don't celebrate Christmas, but you celebrate some other holidays, so Happy Holidays and a Happy New Year. And I'll see you in January. Good morning. It's December 13th and I'm just sitting here with my morning coffee and crocheting today's color into my Advent blanket. I needed that coffee. I haven't been sleeping well lately. The start of this was typically Nora George and pastel. The minis Sue sent me are bright and some of them are quite dark, so it really makes a frame for the blanket. So it's going to look amazing as soon as it's finished. I have to keep on going with darker colors, I think, for the border around. I'll see what I have. Maybe I'll just put it away for next year. My rest of my knitting, and that I'm going to show in the intro I'm recording later today, because as soon as I finished crocheting this, I'm going to set up and I'm going to record the intro for episode 2 of Arctic Advent. So this is going to be in next week's Advent. So this is Mondays are kind of weird because I'm recording stuff that's not going to be posted until next week. So I'm just going to finish my coffee, finish crocheting this, and then I'm going to set up to edit my intro. I'll see you later today. Good morning. Well, so today is the 14th and it's only 10 days left to Christmas, 9 days left until my oldest son arrives, and I'm starting to feel the pressure. I've haven't been doing much useful stuff the last week. I haven't even started baking yet, and I have to bake coriander cookies, vanilla cookies, and kamkake. Kamkake is the sort of bread rolls. I show them every year in Vlogmas when I make them. So today I have to clean the kitchen, tidy and clean the kitchen, because I want to start baking tomorrow, and it's so much more fun to bake when the kitchen looks nice and I have the countertops to bake on when they're not full of stuff, because we have more countertop space now than we did in our old kitchen. We decorated, we totally fixed up the kitchen 3 years ago. Maybe it's as long as 4 years ago. I think it's 3 years ago. And we got much more countertop space, some more workspace. The problem with that is that then there's more space to put stuff. So it's not a big problem if there's some stuff on there that shouldn't be there, because there's always room for more. So the biggest problem today is finding different places to put everything, because everything else is stuffed. So I'll let you know how I get along, and I'll see you later. I've cleaned off my kitchen counter. I have everything I need for my cookies, so tomorrow I'll start baking for Christmas. Finally. Today, when I was tidying, I had some Christmas music playing on Spotify, and it's raining outside, and that's not ideal for the Christmas spirit, but it works. I did hit the back of my head earlier today, so that might be why I'm feeling the Christmas spirit. Maybe I got it knocked into me. I was going over to the neighbor, and it's raining and it's slippery, and I fell down and landed on the back of my head. Not nice. But I feel fine, so I didn't get a concussion or anything, but it was not pleasant, because I got soaking wet, of course, because I landed on the wet ice. So now it's starting to get later in the day. It's 2 o'clock, so hubby will be home in about an hour, and the only thing I'm planning on doing now, I'm making myself a cup of coffee, and then I'm sitting down with some Critical Role and some knitting while I'm waiting for him to come home. I'll see you later. And this is the weather we're having today. It started last night. It's not as windy anymore, but nice. Well, it's the 15th today, and I just have to start baking soon. So I'm actually going to try to be efficient today and get 2 different kinds of cookies underway. So I'm going to start with my coriander cookies, and if I have the time, I'll do my vanilla cookies afterwards. And I'll take you along for some of it. Good morning and welcome to day 15 of Vlogmas. I got an early start today because we had electricians coming to fix some downlights in the ceiling, and so I got an early start, as I said, and that's a good thing because today I'm baking and I'm making something that takes all day. I'm making kamkake. This is a tradition. I think I've talked about this in both the vlogmases I've done before. I think this is my third vlogmas. And it's a dough with yeast, so it has to proof a couple of times. First before I start making the kamkake, and then before I put them into the oven, they have to proof again. So that's my day, baking kamkake. And I'll probably get some knitting in from time to time because I'm almost finished with my radvent, so I really want to continue with that today so I can cast on something different this evening. So that's what I'm doing today, knitting radvent cardigan and baking. And I'll see you later. Finished with today's baking and finished with the last baking I'm doing before Christmas. I'm only doing 3 different kinds of cookies and bread this year. And hubby will be home in about an hour, so I'm going to watch some vlogmas and do some knitting while I'm waiting for him. And this is one of my favorite Christmas mugs, and I'm trying to get into the Christmas spirit, so I figured I'd better have some coffee in a Christmas mug because it's not much of a Christmas outside. It's windy and it's raining, so that's not helping to get in the spirit of things. Well, I'll see you later. Good morning. Well, it's the 17th and I've been up for some time already. I've had breakfast, I've been to the neighbors to ask if she had buttons because my radvent is finished. It's drying on the bathroom floor. And I've opened my advents and I've frogged the crochet blanket, you know, the one I made the edging with the advent from Sue. And my numbers weren't good because it was ruffled at the edges, so I should have skipped some stitches when I started. So I just frogged it, and I'm going to make a big magic knot ball of the advent from Sue, and I'll have to think about how I'm going to fix that because it's busier these last few days before Christmas, so one less thing to do in the morning. So I'm just going to put that panel to one side. It's big enough for a baby blanket, so maybe I should just keep it and gift it. But I don't know anybody expecting. I don't know anybody who has a baby. So maybe I'll just put it to one side and think about what I'm going to do with it. So that's what I've been doing this morning. And I'm going to ship an order today, and we're going to Sortland to do some Christmas shopping. There are more shops in Sortland and a better selection, and there's opened a new, one of my favorite stores in Tromsø has opened a branch in Sortland, so we're going there today to get some shopping done. And that's the plans for today, where I'm actually leaving the house. So I'll be seeing you later. So here I am again in the bedroom. Hubby is watching TV, so I decided to pop in here to talk a bit to you. I just finished decorating the tree and I'm about to start dinner. I know I said I was going to decorate the tree on the fourth Sunday of Advent, and that's tomorrow, but I'm going to take part in a Zoom knit night with the ladies of Distant Stitches, it's a knit afternoon for me, morning for them, but I'm going to take part in that, and I decided I wanted to have the tree decorated behind me. And another thing is I'm going to record my last episode of Arctic Advent on Monday, and it would be nice to have the tree decorated by then. The rest of the house is a total mess, but at least the tree is decorated. It would be so much more fun to get everything ready for Christmas with the tree up anyway. And the room I'm sitting in now, in our bedroom, is total chaos, but that's not a big problem for Christmas because me and hubby are the only ones in here. So I might actually bring more mess in here to get it out of the way for Christmas. I tend to do that. So that's it for today. Now I'm only going to make dinner, and the rest of the afternoon, evening, I'm planning on knitting. I'm knitting on my shawl. You've seen pictures of that as well, on the Sugar Plum Fairy advent shawl. And I've taken my socks out again, and I'm knitting on them at the moment. So that's the plan for this evening, knitting and relaxing. But now I'm making dinner, and I probably won't speak to you again until tomorrow, so I'll see you tomorrow.